हाँ, आवाज आ रही है मेरी सबको? अगर आ रही है तो चैट में मुझे लिख के बताओ, आवाज आ रही है नहीं आ रही है। ओके। हेलो। हाँ, अभी दो लोग ऐड हुए हैं, बाकी और भी लोग आ रहे हैं क्या? हम्म। मुझे चैट में लिख के बताओ कि तुमको आवाज आ रही है नहीं आ रही। हाँ, आ रही है। ओके। ओके अंकिता। ठीक है। और रोशन, तुमको आवाज आ रही है? रोशन कुमार। अ, हाँ, थोड़ा वेट करते हैं, बाकी लोगों को आने दो, अगर कोई आ रहा है तो, वरना फिर स्टार्ट करेंगे। हम्म। यस। ओके। हाँ, सब लोग अपना ओके, सब लोग एक काम करो, सब लोग चैट में अपना जो जेएनवी का नाम लिख के जरूर भेजो। अपना नाम और अपने अपने जेएनवी का नाम चैट में सब लोग एक बार, तब तक बाकी सब लोग आ रहे हैं, तब तक अपना नाम और जेएनवी का नाम लिख के भेजो। ओके। हाँ। हाँ जी। और आई होप सबको मेरी
ನೋಡದ ನೋಡ
हाँ, और अपना वीडियो ऑडियो म्यूट करके रखो, मैंने वरना मैं म्यूट कर दूंगा। जब तक की जरूरत ना हो तब तक मत ऑडियो चालू करना। ठीक है, बाकी लोग भी अपना। अच्छा, अंकिता मालवीय फ्रॉम जेएनवी शाहजपुर। ठीक है, बाकी लोग भी अपना अपना इंट्रो दो, नाम और जेएनवी का नाम दो, फिर क्लास स्टार्ट करते हैं। अ, ठीक है, अभी सिर्फ एक नहीं बताया, बाकी लोग भाई चैट में जाके अपना नाम और जेएनवी का नाम बताओ। रोशन कुमार, किस जेएनवी से हो? अ, ठीक है, जेएनवी जफरपुर कांड। ओके। ठीक है एवरीवन। बाकी लोग, दो लोगों ने नाम बता दिया मुझे। हाँ। ओके, उफक रहीम फ्रॉम जेएनवी बारामूला। ठीक है, जेएन को है, जेएन के। ओके। ठीक है, इसके अलावा तो कोई और आ रहा है, या फिर हम क्लास स्टार्ट करें? बाकी अपने दोस्तों को तुम बोल दो। ओके, रवि फ्रॉम जेएनवी बगलकोट। ठीक है। तो चलो, आई होप, चलो क्लास स्टार्ट करते हैं। कर्नाटका। ओके, रवि फ्रॉम कर्नाटका। अच्छा, फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल टेल मी, एवरीवन कैन अंडरस्टैंड हिंदी और आई शुड कंटिन्यू द क्लास इन इंग्लिश? इज एवरीवन कंफर्टेबल इन हिंदी और आई शुड कंटिन्यू टीचिंग इन इंग्लिश? If anyone is not comfortable in Hindi, then please tell me in the chat box. हाँ, सब लोग कंफर्टेबल हैं हिंदी में या नहीं है? ओनली इंग्लिश? ओके ओके। ओके। ओके, so we have students from south also, so we will continue in English. Okay. Okay everyone, so please take care everyone, we will continue our lecture in English, so that everyone from, because we have students from each different states, so we will continue our lecture in English. Okay. Yes. So those who have joined just right now, they introduce yourself. You introduce yourself by stating your name and okay. One more thing. Stop. Everyone stop audio and video both. Yes. So those who have just right now joined, state their name and state your name and JNV name also. Okay. In chat box, state your JNV name and your name, please, so that we can continue now. Okay. So let us continue. So so to teach you what I will be using, I will be screen sharing with you guys, and I would recommend every one of you, please keep your video and audio both off. Unless and until you want to speak, then raise your hand and then you can start your audio and then speak to me something you want to ask about. Okay. Otherwise, everyone will keep their audio and video off. Okay. One second. Too much noise. From where it is coming? Yes, mute it. So once again, I am telling you guys, please keep your video and audio both off unless you want to ask something. If you want to ask something, raise your hand and then you start your audio and then ask me. Okay, otherwise otherwise it will not be feasible for us. Everyone please stop your otherwise I will mute it. Okay. Yes. Who is it? If okay. So I think let's now start the class. So today we are going to study electrostatics from the start. Okay, we will discuss some basic concepts about it and what it is, and then we will move on. Okay, so again some who is this? Uddal Ravya, please mute your audio, otherwise it will be very much chaotic. Again and again, why are you starting your audio? If you want to speak something, then raise your hand. Okay. Yes, this Uddal Ravya. Why are you starting audio again and again? Okay. Okay, so so let's start. So good evening, everyone. We are today we are going to study electrostatics. Okay. So what do you mean by electrostatics? First, let us understand the meaning of the word electrostatic. What is it? What is it? Electrostatic, as the name suggests, it is. So we are going to study electrostatics. Now it is comprising of two words, as you can see easily. One is electro and then another one is statics. So as the name suggests, we can easily see in this chapter we will deal. Now electro here, it is dealing with it is for the charge. It suggests us that we are discussing about charge, and statics word here means that we will discuss the charge at rest. This Uddal Ravya, I am giving warning to you, otherwise I have to kick you out, because again and again you are starting your audio and it is becoming very difficult for us to continue the class. I am muting you and again you are starting the audio. This is the last warning. If your audio starts from right now, then I will kick you out. Okay. Yes, sorry sir, something went wrong. Okay, but I don't know, just try to understand. Okay, so I was discussing electrostatics. Now electro word, this is for charge and statics for rest. So in this chapter what we will do, we will study charge at rest. Now first of all let me tell you charge. What is charge? Let us discuss about it. So as we know, charge is something, it is intrinsic property of matter, intrinsic property of matter, due to which it is intrinsic property of matter due to which it shows electric and magnetic effects, electrical and magnetic effects. So first of all, what we are discussing, what is charge? Okay, now after that it is a scalar quantity, as we know, because in physics whenever we are introduced with a new quantity we always try to understand what the quantity is, and then we move on to the concept whether it is a scalar quantity or vector quantity. So as we know, charge is what? Charge is a scalar quantity. Okay, so now charge is scalar quantity, and now coming on to its unit. What is its unit? Its unit is coulomb. Now I am talking about first SI unit. Its SI unit is coulomb. Okay, so SI unit of charge is coulomb, and 1 coulomb, this is equal to ampere into second. 1 ampere into 1 second. And I know you should have known about it, that in 11th class we have studied what is ampere. It is one of the fundamental units. 7 fundamental units we have, and one of the fundamental units is ampere. So one charge, what we can write, it is 1 ampere into 1 second. So moving on, first of all what we understood, that charge is the intrinsic property of matter and it is a scalar quantity. And after that, about its unit, what is its unit, so that we can write its dimension and all that. Okay, so moving on, now in this chapter what we are going to study, charge. Now I'll tell you, whenever charge is at rest, okay, then an electric field surrounds it. There is an electric field around it, and whenever charge is uniformly moving, if charge is in uniform motion, if charge is in uniform motion, that is constant velocity. I know you should have studied this in 11th class, what is uniform motion. So uniform motion means charge velocity of charge is constant. So what we can understand, whenever charge is in uniform motion, then we can say it will produce current. Okay, electric field and current, and due to current, magnetic field also will be produced. So what we can write in this case, that electric field and magnetic field both are produced. Okay, so electric field and magnetic field both are produced, in which case whenever charge is in uniform motion. Now last case, if charge is accelerating, if charge is accelerating, this is also a type of motion. Whenever there is an acceleration, then what will happen, then if charge is in acceleration, sorry, then what will happen, an EM wave, electromagnetic wave, will be produced. Now what is this EM wave? EM wave is something like, you can understand all the sun rays which are coming from sun to earth. This is also an example of EM wave. And whenever we are communicating with mobile, then the then the radiation used, that is also EM wave, and there are a lot of examples, TV signal, radio signal, all these comes under the category of EM wave. We will discuss about this in detail in upcoming chapters. So first, for the timing, what we have to understand, what is charge, this we now know, and whenever charge is at rest, then it is having an electric field surrounding by it, and whenever charge is in uniform motion, it is having electric field and magnetic field both, and whenever charge is in acceleration, then it is having EM wave. So this is all we know right now. Now moving on, I hope you are writing along with me. Okay, so I am clearing this up. Okay, so now coming on to the first basic law, first law, that is Coulomb's law. So Coulomb law, what Coulomb's law say? So Coulomb's law, let us understand about Coulomb's law. What is Coulomb's law? We will understand about it. So first, Coulomb's law says that whenever there are two charges, let us say one charge is Q1, one charge is Q2, then what will happen? Then, or let us say the distance between them is R, then the force between them will be proportional to Q1, Q2, and also the force will also be inversely proportional to square of the distance between them. So we can easily write the force will be proportional to Q1 Q2 divided by R square. Now whenever we remove this proportionality, then a constant comes, and let us name that constant K for the time being. Then I can write F is equal to K Q1 Q2 by R square. Now this is what Coulomb's law in simple form. Okay, it is Coulomb's law in simple form, that is scalar form we are writing. So moving on, this is Coulomb's law. Now what about this K? Whenever we try to understand this K is also comprising of some constants. Let us understand that what are those constants. So first of all, K is equal to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught. Now try to understand what is epsilon naught here. This is permittivity of the vacuum, electrical permittivity to be exact. What is this? Electrical permittivity of vacuum. Now focus on this term. This is electrical permittivity of the vacuum, and its value is what? 8.85 into 10 raised to power minus 12. Okay. I would request everyone to stop video and audio both. Okay, so let us stop here, and who will tell me according to this formula what will be unit of epsilon naught? Now you can those who want to tell me, you can switch on your audio and then tell me what is the value of value is this, what is the unit of epsilon naught? Tell me. Start your audio and then tell me who want to tell what is the unit of epsilon naught. Yes, anyone can tell. Or in chat, tell me in the chat if you are not comfortable. Okay,
Newton meter square per coulomb square.
okay, so who is this? Akhila. Okay,
Sir,
Akhil.
Ufak.
Ufak. Acha, Ufak. Okay, so what did you say? Newton
Meter square per coulomb square.
per coulomb square. Okay, anyone else? Is this correct or not? So Ufak Rahim is telling us that the unit of epsilon naught is what? Newton meter square upon coulomb square. So let us, anyone else who wants to add something or just confirm about it? Is it okay or not? Okay, so let us continue.
Yes, sir.
Ankita, yes, tell me, is it okay?
Yes, sir. It is okay.
Okay. Okay, so let's see how we calculate this. As you know, we have studied in 11th class. We can focus on this formula and then try to understand. So if we write here, what we know that F is equal to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught and then Q1 Q2 divided by R square. Now here you can easily see the unit of force is what? Newton. Okay. Now 4 pi doesn't have any unit, and epsilon naught unit, this is what we want to calculate. Okay. Uh, and q1 q2 are having unit coulomb and coulomb, so that is coulomb square, and r, that is distance, is having unit meter, so meter square. So we can easily write the unit of epsilon naught will come out to be what? Coulomb square upon Newton meter square. Now what mistake you have done here, Akhil, and Ankita also confirmed it, so she has also done some mistake. What mistakes you are doing? You are just you are hurriedly, what you are telling me, you are telling me the unit of k. Now I was not asking about the unit of k, so this is wrong. Okay, understood everyone? This is wrong. So what is the correct unit? It is 8.85 into 10 raised to power minus 12, and it will be coulomb square upon Newton meter square. Once again, try to understand everyone. Okay, so this is the difference. Yes, Ankita, now you realized your mistake. So don't just try to hurry up and just give the straight away answer. Just think about it. So whenever you are just giving the answer, you are thinking, okay, we have to uh, calculate the unit of this constant. So you are just multiplying this Newton with the meter square and then upon coulomb square, So you are telling me this, but this is not right. This is the right. Okay, I think everyone understood. So at any point, if anyone has any doubt, then you can raise your hand. You can tell me in chat, or also you can tell me by switching on your audio. Okay, so moving on. So what we have understood right now till now, epsilon naught is having this value, and it is called as electrical permittivity of vacuum, and this is its unit. Okay, so till now what we have understood, whenever there are two charges, at some distance, then what will be the force? Now this is what, yes, Shushma is raising hand. So what is your doubt, Shushma? Either tell me by via audio or in chat. Yes. Yes. Anyone? Yes, Shushma, any doubt you are having?
Can you explain once again, sir?
Yes, what?
Can you explain once again, sir?
Okay, you want me to explain once again?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'll explain. Yes. So yes, I'll repeat it. So we are discussing Coulomb's law. What is Coulomb's law? Whenever there is a charge Q1, one more charge is there Q2, and there is a distance in between them R, then force is proportional to Q1, Q2, and force is inversely proportional to R square. So in total we can write F is proportional to Q1, Q2 divided by R square. So whenever we remove this constant of this proportionality, then constant of proportionality comes, and we are naming here for the time being K. Okay, so this is becoming the formula F is equal to K Q1 Q2 by R square. Now Coulomb's law is experimental law, just like Newton's law of gravitation. Empirical laws, there is no proof behind those laws, but we can verify these laws experimentally, but these are basic laws. There is no proof behind these laws. These are just observed experimentally. Okay, but these are true, which we can verify. So moving on, so this is the K, this constant. Whenever we are explaining this constant, then we got to know that this K is what? 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught. So epsilon naught, here we can see it is electrical permittivity of vacuum. This is named as electrical permittivity of vacuum. Now please everyone, please excuse my writing, because I'm writing on this pad and then it is connected to the computer. So there will be some, it will take some time for me also to habituate to this. Okay, so because before this I was only teaching offline. Okay, so slowly it will improve, so try to adjust. Yes, so epsilon naught is the electrical permittivity of vacuum. Now epsilon naught, the value of epsilon naught is 8.85 into 10 raised to power minus 12. So I was wondering about what its unit will be. So what I did, I just use this formula. I put it 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught at the place k, and then after that what I found out, I found that this was 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught, and 4 pi doesn't have any unit, so 1 upon epsilon naught and coulomb, this q1 and q2 both are having unit charge, so it will be coulomb square, and r, it will be having unit meter, so meter square. Now force is having unit Newton, so epsilon naught is equal to coulomb square upon Newton meter square. So this is finally how I have calculated this unit of epsilon naught. Okay, understood everyone? So till now everyone clear? If anyone have doubt, then tell me, otherwise I'll move on. Okay, any doubt? Yes, who was asking this, Shushma, or is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so now let's talk about what happens if I put these charges q1 and q2. Now here we were taking vacuum we were taking. Now let us say at the place of vacuum I am taking some medium, for an example water or anything else, any dielectric medium I am taking. Now comes the term dielectric. What is dielectric? Actually what happens, we use this term dielectric for anything other than conductor. Okay, so I'll tell you why later on in the chapter. So for the time being, understand there is a medium in between these two charges. Okay, so yes, okay, so in this case what will happen, now force will not be F, it will be F dash, let us say, and it will be 1 upon 4 pi at the place of epsilon naught. Now this is the symbol, it looks like this. Okay, Greek symbol, it is the spelling of this is epsilon. Okay, now pronunciation I am not doing correctly, but still epsilon, actually it is called like something like that. So epsilon, I'll just call it epsilon. Okay, so n is actually silent, but still I'll call it as epsilon. So epsilon naught, this is what electrical permittivity of medium. So here epsilon naught will change, because here it was of the vacuum. Now we will use epsilon. Okay, epsilon will be electrical permittivity of medium. It will be something electrical permittivity of medium. Okay everyone, so here I'll write epsilon. Okay, not naught, because it was for the vacuum, and all other things will be same, q1 q2 by r square. Now I'll tell you what is this epsilon. You can see this is also a constant which will be different for the medium, and this is also a constant which is fixed for a vacuum. So we have taken the ratio of these two, and we understood that whenever we are taking this ratio, we defined this ratio as epsilon r, or what is this called? It is called as relative permittivity, relative electrical permittivity. Relative electrical permittivity. Okay. So epsilon r is what? Relative electrical permittivity. It is also called as, or I can call this dielectric constant. Dielectric constant. Now if you remember, it is just something like if you remember in 9th class you have studied a term relative density, if you remember it correct. Okay, so what was the relative density? It was the ratio of the density of the substance divided by ratio of the density of the water, because water is such a universal object, it is readily available and it is all around us. So we we were using that as our standard. Okay, so here what I'm trying to tell you, just like the same way, electrical permittivity of medium and electrical permittivity of the vacuum, this ratio is also defined, and we call this ratio as epsilon r. So by using this, you can see, if I divide now this equation, let us name this equation. This equation is, let us say, 1, and now this equation is let us say 2. If I divide equation number 1 divided by equation number 2, then what I will get? You will see f by f dash I will get. Now this f by f dash, you can easily see it will be equal to q1 q2 by r square, and q1 q2 by r square are same, and 1 upon 4 pi 1 upon 4 pi are same. Those will get cancelled, and this epsilon, because it is in reciprocal and this is also in reciprocal, so it will be reversed, and the ratio will come out to be epsilon upon epsilon naught, and which we have already defined epsilon r. So this is the result on which we have to focus. Okay, so I am giving you 2 minutes. You can copy it in your notes, and if you have any doubt, then ask me. Otherwise, I'll move on. Okay, everyone. And also, I'll try to record this video, and then I'll upload it later, and then we will send you link. But for the timing, you also try to just note it down so that we can move further. So based on today's lecture, I will be sending you concept builder. That is a small exercise consisting nearly 15 questions, and you will be asked to solve that. And day after tomorrow, when we will have the class, then once again I will discuss those questions, and then we'll move on. Okay. So for the timing, just note this down, and if you have any doubt, then ask. Whenever you have written, then please write okay or done in the chat box. So whenever you have written, please write done or anything like that in chat. Okay, done. Okay, everyone. So it seems that everyone has written it. So we'll move on to the next topic. So till now, what we have understood, let us revise that and then move on. Till now, we have understood that what is charge, and then it is a scalar, and then we have learned something about Coulomb's law, that how does it work. Okay, and Coulomb's law we have studied in 2 cases. First is what, in vacuum, and another one is in medium. Okay, so now moving on. So unit of epsilon or epsilon naught, just we understood what is the unit of epsilon naught. Okay, so I am giving you a small exercise. You just tell me what will be the dimensional formula for epsilon. Okay, epsilon naught. Tell me, everyone. Solve it and then tell me. Yes, solve this and then tell me what will be the dimensional formula of epsilon naught. Dimensional formula. Yes, anyone? Have you solved?
M-1, L-3, T4, A2.
One second, one second. Once again, you tell me.
So M raised to power -1, L raised
Okay,
to power -3,
okay,
T raised to power 4,
okay.
A raised to power 2.
A raised to power 2. Okay. So Rahim has told us what the dimension of epsilon naught, that is m raised to power -1, L raised to power -3, T raised to power 4, and A raised to power 2. Anyone else? What will be the dimension? What will be the dimension? No one else has solved it? You don't know how to calculate dimension? Yes. Yes, Ankita has told me m L raised to power 3, T raised to power -3, and I raised to power or A raised to power, okay, -3. Okay. So only two have answered. What about everyone else? Yes, M Ravi, and this is Sushma, Roshan. What about all of you? Tell me what you are thinking and what you are solving. Okay, then I'll tell you. Okay. I'll tell you what is it. Huh. So we are talking about epsilon naught. Okay. So once again, I'll go on to the formula. What is F? F is equal to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 Q2 divided by R square. So what I can easily understand that the unit of epsilon naught, as we have understood earlier, it will come out to be Newton Coulomb square divided by Newton into meter square. Now I'll tell you those who don't know. Now dimensions for the unit Newton, sorry, it is m L T minus 2. Okay, Newton is unit of force, and that is mass into acceleration, that is m L T minus 2. And now Coulomb, as we know, Coulomb I can write current into time, so it will be A into T. Okay, everyone. So whenever I'll try to write the dimensional formula of epsilon naught, it will come out to be A T whole square divided by Newton. For Newton, it will be m L T minus 2, and for meter, that is L n square. So whenever I'll solve this, I will get what I will get: A square T A square T square and m minus 1. Now L minus 3, and also T minus 2, it will come T plus 2 whenever it will move upward. So it will look something like this. So it will come out to be m minus 1, L minus 3, A 2, and T 4. So I think Rahim, you were correct, and Ankita, you were wrong. So mistake you have done. Okay. Okay, no problem. Try to improve next time, Ankita. So Rahim, you are right. Okay, very good. So write it down, everyone, and then I'll move. So this was about the dimension of the epsilon m. Okay, epsilon naught. Now you tell me, what about the dimension of epsilon m? It will be different or it will be same? That dimension of epsilon m. Yes, tell me, it will be different or it will be same? It will be same, of course. So it will be same as that of epsilon. Okay, it is very easy. Now tell me, what about the dimension of dielectric constant? Yes, who will tell me what about the dimension of dielectric constant?
Sir, it will be dimensionless.
It will be dimensionless. Very good. Once again, Rahim. It will be dimensionless, of course, because it is a ratio. As you can see, epsilon r, that is epsilon m, or epsilon m is the relative permittivity to the medium, or epsilon sometimes we call it, upon epsilon naught. So these units are the same, so it will be getting cancelled, and we will be having no unit. Okay, so moving on, this was all about dimensions of different quantities which we are studying. Okay, so epsilon dielectric constant is dimensionless, so we can write its dimension as epsilon r. This will be m0, l0, t0 and also a0. Okay everyone, so let us move on to the unit of charge, different units of charge, because we are having different units of charge. So write down this, then we will move on to next topic. Yes, if you have written, then tell me in chat. Hmm. Okay, done. Everyone else done? Okay. Okay, everyone then. We'll moving on to next topic. Okay. So next, what we have to understand, charge actually, we are trying to understand about the units of charge. Okay. In this subtopic, we will try to understand about units of charge. So units of charge, okay. First is SI unit. SI unit. And then next is what? CGS unit. So SI unit, we all know the charge SI unit is what? 1 coulomb. 1 coulomb, or we can write this as 1 C, capital C. So there are two CGS units which we are having. Okay. What are those? What are those? Let us try to understand. One second, excuse me. Excuse me, sorry. So CGS unit, we are having two CGS units. One was ESU, one is ESU and one is EMU. I'll tell you what are these. First of all, let us understand this unit is generally used in electrostatics. Okay, and this unit is generally used in electromagnetism, and accordingly it is named. So what is this full form or name of this? That is one electrostatic unit. And what is its name? It is one let us, it is 1 year over no, so it will be electromagnetic unit. Electromagnetic unit. So now let us try to understand what are these values. So first of all, always remember this, the largest unit is what? It is EMU, and less than that we have 1 coulomb, and less than that we have 1 ESU. And also one more thing, this ESU is also named as, what is it named? It is also named as state coulomb. You should have heard about it, state coulomb, or sometimes it is also called as Franklin. Okay, so these all are the same name, Franklin, state coulomb and ESU. So now understand the relation in between them. So first of all, only two relations we have to remember. One EMU, that is equal to 10 coulomb, and also 1 coulomb, it is equal to 3 into 10 raised to power 9 ESU. Okay everyone, so this is the relation between them. Please write it down and then we'll move on. If you have written, then tell me, confirm me in the chat box. So always try to remember about these units. Okay. So it appears that everyone has written. So moving on. Okay. So this is all about units. Now let's move on to another topic. Now what we have to understand, uh, understand the value of the constant. Value of constant of proportionality. Proportionality. Okay, everyone. So, what is this value? We'll try to understand. Okay. So, value of constant of proportionality, which we have named as k, it was coming out to be 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught. Whenever we will solve it, 1 upon 4 pi we know it is 3.14 and like that. So, okay. So whenever we will solve this, what we will get? Epsilon naught, value of the epsilon naught we know. So we will get something like this, 8.85 into 10 raised to power minus 12. This is its value. Whenever we will solve it, we will get approximately 9 into 10 to the power 9. Now you can tell me what is its unit? Yes. Now this time unit will be like that. What will be its unit? It will be Newton meter square upon Coulomb square. It will be reverse of the epsilon naught. Okay. Its unit will be reverse of the epsilon naught. So similarly, you can write its dimension also will be reverse of the epsilon naught. Okay. Now, so this is its value. Okay. This all these are in SI unit. Now, if I ask you, now this is my question. Everyone will solve this question. What will be value of k or constant of proportionality or constant of proportionality in Coulomb's law in CGS units? Now you have to calculate it its value in CGS unit. This is what you have to do. Yes, everyone. Everyone solve this and tell me fast. Yes, anyone? Now for the CGS unit of charge, you will take ESU. Unless stated otherwise, always you will take ESU. We are because we are dealing in electrostatics. Okay. So I am just reminding you for the CGS unit of charge, what you will do, you will take ESU, electrostatic unit. If anyone has solved, then please tell me the answer. Anyone? Okay, then let me solve it. Okay. 9 into Ankita has given me the answer 9 into 10 raised to power 18. Yes. Anyone else? Akhil, Rahim. Anyone else? What will be the answer? Okay. Let me solve it. So what we will do, we have to calculate the value of k or the constant proportionality in terms of CGS units. So I'll just convert it. See how? 9 into 10 raised to power 9, and if I write unit, it is Newton meter square upon Coulomb square. So I can write this 9 into 10 raised to power 9. Now at the place Newton, if I convert this into dyne, then I hope all of you would have known that 1 Newton is equal to 10 raised to power 5 dyne. This you have calculated so many times in 11th class. So what I will write here at the place n, I will write 10 raised to power 5. Okay. Then after because this is 10 raised to power 5 dyne. Then at the place meter, I'll write 10 raised to power 2 centimeter. Okay. And at the place coulomb, I will write 1 coulomb is what? I know 3 into 10 raised to power 9 ESU. So what I will write? This is the whole is square. So here the unit will become 1 second. The unit will be something like this. Unit would be dyne and centimeter square and divided by ESU square. So this will be our whole unit in CGS. Okay. So whenever we will solve this, we will get the complete value 1. So what we are getting, it is very simple and easy value coming. 1 dyne centimeter square divided by ESU whole square. So I'll suggest you to remember this value so that you will not have to solve every time. Okay. So value of k in CGS units is 1. This is what we have to remember. Note it down, and whenever you write, then whenever you have written, then confirm me. So I'm not able to understand why you are not able to solve it. Okay. Or you are solving it correctly or anything else. So everyone please try. Whenever you will try, you will get mistakes, you will do mistakes, and then only you can improve. Yes. Anyone else? Okay. All other, have you written this? Okay, then write it fast. So yes, Written everyone? Okay. Okay, now so I'm clearing it up. So moving on. See, now we will see some range of some constants. What we will see? We will see range of values of epsilon r or k or epsilon m. Okay. ठीक है. So first let us see the range of epsilon r. Now epsilon r, which is also known as a dielectric constant, its range will be, its minimum value will be 1 and its maximum value will be infinity. I'll tell you for an example. For example, epsilon r for water, its value is 81. I'm just giving you an idea. Okay. Now second, when we will write the value of k. Now what is this k? Okay. This k. So let us come on to that later. Let's first write epsilon m. Epsilon m or permittivity of the medium. Its value will lie between epsilon naught. Its minimum value will be for vacuum or air. It will be epsilon naught, and its maximum value will once again will be infinity. Okay. Now third, whenever we are comparing the value of k or that constant of proportionality, its minimum value will be 0. I'll tell you when it will occur, and its maximum value will be 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught. So now let us try to understand when are these values happening. See, in case of permittivity, this minimum, this will occur when medium is vacuum. When medium is vacuum, this will occur. Okay. Oh, sorry. When medium is vacuum, this value will be there. But what about maximum value? These value will occur when medium is conductor. If medium is conductor, then what will happen? This epsilon r and epsilon of medium will be infinity. And k, that is inversely proportional to these value. So of course, here it will be for conductor, and this value will be corresponding to what? Vacuum. And I'll once again tell you, epsilon r and dielectric constant both are same thing. Epsilon r and dielectric constant are same. So once again I am explaining. Listen very everyone carefully. First we are discussing value of epsilon r, epsilon m, and then k. So epsilon r or relative permittivity, this will be minimum for what? Whenever the medium is vacuum, this will be 1. But whenever the medium is conductor, then this will be infinity. And epsilon or epsilon of m, that is permittivity of the medium, this will be epsilon naught whenever the medium is vacuum, and this will be infinity once again whenever the medium is conductor. Now what is the constant? That is 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught or 1 upon 4 pi epsilon m. So whenever we will put these values, whenever it is 1 or something like that, epsilon naught, so in this case it will be 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught. But whenever it is infinity, then 1 upon infinity will tend to 0. So in case of conductor, it is coming out to be 0. In case of vacuum, it is coming out to be 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught. That you all know, 9 into 10 to the power 9 in SI unit and 1 in CGS unit. Okay, everyone. So that is all for the today's lecture. So any doubts if you have in today's lecture, then you tell me. I'll post the exercise for today's lecture in our group, and then what you are supposed to do. Every one of you, tell your friends also, those who are in the group and have not attended the class. What you have to do, you have to solve all the questions in your notebook very properly, maintaining it, and then you have to click the pics of it, and those who know how to make PDF, you will make PDF by cam scanner and then send it to me. Okay, in personal message you will send, not in the group. Okay everyone, or if you don't know, then you just click the images and send to me, so that I will know that you have done the homework. And after that, day after tomorrow, the same time, 5 o'clock, what we will do, we will move on and discuss the next. First we will discuss the doubts, and then move on to the next topics. Okay everyone, so what is the homework today? I'll just send you in the group, and you have to solve and in your notebook, and then send me the pics. Okay, either by making PDF or as it is, whatever you like, but you have to send me in personal message. Okay, so that is for all. Anyone has doubt, then you can ask me in the chat, otherwise okay, no doubt. Okay everyone, bye, and take care. So in these vacations, it is just like vacation for all of you, but you have to use it very wisely, because you are in 12th class. So try to study as much as possible, because we are having very little time. So it appears to us that up to September we will not be having offline classes. Okay, so we want to help you as much as possible, what we can do from our side. So you also have to do your part and be very curious and hardworking, and be disciplined, please, so that we can move on or with our preparation. Okay everyone, so I'm ending the meeting now. Thank you very much for attending. For chemistry, Rahim, you have to ask more, sir, because I am not aware of the situation much, because I only take physics, and I know my job, what is my job, and I have been instructed to take this class. And the chemistry, about chemistry, I don't know much. Okay, so for physics, I can assure you that day after tomorrow we will be having classes in MWF schedule. Okay, 5 o'clock. This will be our schedule. If there is any change, then I'll let you know. Otherwise, I'll just post the link just like today, and we will move on to the classes just like today. Okay. Okay, so everyone now, bye. Take care.